So many great Tower Heroes updates across the board, and so many that are not. I honestly thought it would never come to this point, but it is officially time for me to make a video of why I think that Tower Heroes could either soar or tank in 2025, depending on what the developers decide to do this year. It could all come down to this. The reason why I have feared making a video like this is because people just tend to be so disgraceful towards developers in these videos. And so I hope today as you're watching this one, this is not the feeling you are getting, because Tower Heroes has brought us some amazing updates over the years for only being two main developers in this game. So in fact, before I even start this video, I want to give a hand clap to them really quickly, because they have done an absolutely outstanding job with the designs of the towers, the design, and even sometimes the way they've gone and choices they've made within the game. However, if you are a Tower Heroes enjoyer just like myself, I think it is time that we go ahead and see what direction we may be going with 2025, some things that we need to be aware of, and what really needs to change in order to get this game back on the board again. The first and most obvious thing that I think needs to change is the frequency of the updates and their release times. Okay, obviously this has been a big issue over the last year or two, maybe even 3 years at this point. Used to be when Tower Heroes was releasing, we would have updates almost every single week. So my question then is, if they were able to do it before, what's the holdup with being able to do it now? Now, obviously, we don't know their real life situations. Things might have changed over the years, so let's just go ahead and get that out the window real quick. Recently, we've been receiving a lot of cosmetic updates, whether it be new followers or new stickers or things like that, and this is just not a very good way to, if you want to make the game last, this is not a great way in a good direction to go. And obviously I'm not the first to say this, but the problem with cosmetic updates is once players achieve all of the cosmetics, just like this with the latest Christmas update, once they've achieved everything they need, they're gonna leave until the next update comes, because there's not much to do outside of getting cosmetics. And so what appears the developers have done to be able and kind of make the players stay longer is simply just make the tasks super hard to complete, and then that way they'll have to keep trying over and over again to be able and get these items or the cosmetics or help others be able and get your or help you get it. And this is not a good idea at all, and I have some proof as to why that is. Since we are on a Roblox game after all, I figured that it's a good idea to check out what some of the top games on Roblox are doing and how they are succeeding. For this specific example, I'm going to be using the smash hit game Adopt Me. If we look at Adopt Me's timeline and really see what update caused Adopt Me to really explode on top of the Roblox platform, we look and we see that it was the update with the pets. So how does earning pets not get repetitive inside of a game, and how do they make it where players want to stay? Because right now the pets in Adopt Me have great graphics, and so do the things inside of Tower Heroes. The graphics are not the issue here. So in my eyes, what keeps a person playing a game like Adopt Me with the pets, because let's be honest, that's what we're playing it for. But the thing that makes people want to play Adopt Me is that you age the pets up. But aging pets in Adopt Me is something easy to do, it just takes a long time. And that's where I think that the Tower Heroes devs might have fallen a bit short, because instead of just making something very easy to do over a long time, they've made something very short and just made it very hard to do. And if you're a human just like I am, we're naturally designed to run away from hard things. So if you were to actually implement this inside of the game, maybe to be able and unlock the skin, maybe you don't have to beat a map once, maybe you have to beat it 3 or 4 or even 5 times to be able and unlock a skin, but just make it super easy so that people try and keep going back and playing that map. It's almost like getting a neon pet inside of Adopt Me. You have to get the same pet over and over again, complete the task, do it again, stuff like that. Now let's talk about another topic inside the game, and that is collabs. And the way I view collabs are like this. They're more like a band-aid that goes on a cut versus a surgery which is needed to save the life of a game. While the Doors collab event was a very successful one, and you had most of the players from that game come over to check out Tower Heroes, or at least I would say so, the rest of the collabs that they've had just haven't seemed to kept up long term. So what my idea is here is we need to focus more time on getting updates out in the game, not collabing with other games trying to steal from their player base. The third topic that needs to be addressed is that the towers need to be equal. Now they don't all have to be necessarily necessarily like 100% equaled, but there needs to be some major buffing and some major nerfing done to some towers. I made a video on this before, but one of the things that happens inside of Tower Heroes is that you have a lot of people that go with the same exact loadout because there are certain towers which are just simply better than others. I believe there's currently a total of 37 different towers that you can unlock inside of Tower Heroes, and let me tell you, there is definitely some differences between Branch and Keith. In fact, one of the most popular decks for the longest time, and is still an amazingly popular deck as well as an amazing deck, is Branch, Scientist, Lemonade Cat, Balloon Pal, and Spectre. These are some of the best towers in the game for a general use, and what just seems to happen is when you use the same things over and over again, you use the same strategy, you use the same towers, and things just start to get bland really quickly. And while you can bring all these other different towers, like if you have a server with 3 or 4 people in it, you could sure bring a Volt or something like that, or even Keith, because you know there's going to be some other people who are going to be carrying for you. There's certainly no way that you're going to want to be able to bring Keith, Volt, and let's see, maybe even Boca onto some of these other maps when you're soloing. And let's be honest, we all like to solo things more than being with other people. So we've just raised the power of some of our heroes inside the game, like Volt, Beatrice, etc., and maybe lowered some of the stats of some like Branch and Scientist. I think that we will be on a much better track for more fun playtime. Now, I haven't heard anybody talk about this, but it's been something that's kind of sliding under the radar for most people, and I feel like I'm the only one who's noticed this. But the fourth thing I want to do is Tower Heroes is slowly starting to move away from the original feel it had at the very beginning of the game. We had a total of 5 new maps come into the game inside of Tower Heroes. We had Destiny's Dawn, we had, where's All Day Rumble? All Day Rumble is right here. We had Burrow Brawl, we had, where is the other one? Mangle Manor, and we also had Snowy Slopes. I'm not sure if anybody else noticed this about these maps, especially Snowy Slopes and Burrow Brawl, but something just doesn't seem Tower Heroes-y about it. If we look at maps like Castletown, Corporate Chaos, Title Takedown, and even Canyon Calamity, Facility Frenzy, and Radiant Reef here, these all seem like maps that would be found in a kid or early teen kind of game. However, the further we get along into some of these things, especially with the maps All Day Rumble, Burrow Brawl, and Snowy Slopes, they just feel a little bit more like upper teen kind of feel. So the content in the game seems to be kind of, quote, maturing, but the age range of the players who play this game is not. In my opinion, Tower Heroes needs to go right back to the original feel that it had when it first started playing, where it was very kiddie and very more like, it wasn't even kiddie, it was more like really early teen, and that's kind of the fan base you have, or the player base. Now, number 5 might just be the most important thing that could save Tower Heroes in 2025, but before I mention it, I wanted to let you know, if nobody's told you yet today, my friend, you are seen, you are known, and you're loved by both Jesus and by me. And if you have not already, make sure to subscribe to Super Short Central, if and only if you like watching Tower Heroes content, or even some other Roblox games. If not, don't subscribe to Super Short Central then. You can if you want to, I guess, but you don't have to. But in my eyes, the 5th thing that can save Tower Heroes from failing in 2025 is listening to the community's ideas. You see, one of the biggest mistakes a person in a leadership role can do is not listen to their people's requests or desires. I'll give you a quick example. Let's just say the president of the United States made a choice that the people didn't like. Maybe the people who have red brick houses have to pay more money to the government or something like that. I don't know. What do you think is going to happen in the society during the time that that law is in effect and that president is in office? Yeah, that's right, people aren't going to be buying red brick houses. And that's kind of the same situation we sadly have here with Tower Heroes. It seems the developers are trying to take things into their own hands and their own consideration without really taking many ideas from the community. I believe if we really started paying attention to what the community in Tower Heroes is saying about the game and what needs to be changed, what needs to be fixed, I think that we could see a major turnaround coming into 2025. What do you think needs to happen to be able to save Tower Heroes from a pitfall in 2025? I want to hear it all down in the comments below, and make sure to watch one of these videos right here on the side of your screen. If you're a Tower Heroes lover like I am, let's continue to have some fun, my friend.